What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Playbook Sports Podcast. It's Nate coming at you guys. It's been a little while since I've done a mock draft. It's been several weeks, really, since I've done a mock draft. A lot has happened. A lot will continue to happen, right? Free agency is not necessarily done. Free agency is going to go on and on and on. But the big moves have been made. Teams are going to be jockeying for position here. We've already had a trade in the first round with Minnesota picking up an extra first-round pick, and I think I know why. So, we're going to launch into the PFF mock draft simulator. Now, something I want to get out here first. I cannot make trades, right? I haven't paid for it. I'm not going to, probably. So just use your imagination. Bear with me here. And we'll get through this. I have it all written out, so I hopefully won't get too terribly confused. So let's go ahead and kick off the 2024 NFL Draft. Before we get into today's video, guys, I just want to give a special shout out to today's sponsors, starting with Gold Fine and Bowles, lawyers for the injured. Personal injury, workers' compensation, those are their two things, but any sort of legal advice, they're the people to call. Give them a phone call, 309-673-5144. Tell them we sent you, okay? And I'd also like to shout out SeatGeek for sponsoring today's video as well. Use promo code PlaybookSports on their website to get $20 off your first purchase of $30 or more. Let's get back to the video. On the clock, Chicago Bears. They have traded Justin Fields, their starting quarterback, as of today. Tyson Bagent? Yeah, no. It's Caleb Williams. He's going 1-1. It is what it is. Caleb Williams, fantastically talented quarterback prospect. We got people freaking out because he's got a pink phone. Oh my God, you can tell it's a slow news season. Who cares? The kid is supremely talented. You take a shot on him, right? You have to take a shot on him, especially now that you've traded Justin Fields. Like, you've made your bed. This is the pick. This is the guy. This is the kid who, as a freshman at Oklahoma, everyone's like, oh, damn, this could be something. And here he is. He is something. He is going to be awesome. Good for the Bears. He's going into one of the best situations that first overall pick really could ask for. So, great pick. Second pick, Washington on the clock. It's going to be a QB. This is a predictive. This is what I think is going to happen, not what I would do. I would take Drake May. I don't think Washington's going to take Drake May. I think they're going to take Jaden Daniels. Jaden Daniels fits their offense just a little bit better. Their offensive line is awful. It is awful. He is going to have to rely on his legs a lot. And he can do that. He is a super athlete at the quarterback position. I don't have a problem with this pick at all. They need time to continue to build up. Let Jaden Daniels continue to develop as a passer. He's the guy going forward. Is he going to be a great quarterback in the NFL? I don't know. He had one good season in college. There's a lot of one-hit wonders, and there's a lot of guys that 1 year is who they were, like Joe Burrow from LSU. So we'll see what happens with that, but I think that's where they go at pick 2 is Jaden Daniels. Pick 3, New England. A lot of buzz about trading back. I don't think they trade back with Drake May on the board. I think they stick and take the quarterback. Maybe he sits behind Jacoby Brissett this year as they continue to fill out the roster and get him some weapons, because if you throw Drake May out there this year, you're going to be disappointed. They don't have any weapons out there. They've got an average to below average defense. They are changing regimes for the first time since 2001. There's a lot of turnover happening this year. If you throw a rookie quarterback into it, you're asking for trouble. He needs to sit. You need to get him weapons and go from there. So I like Drake May at pick 3 to sit maybe for a season and see what he's got next year. He's a stud. He reminds me so much of Justin Herbert. I think he's going to be very, very good in the league. So Drake May goes at pick 3 to New England. Pick 4, Marvin Harrison. Marvin Harrison Jr. going to Arizona. I do think they are going to get phone calls about trade-ups. I don't think J.J. McCarthy is that good, but there are teams that are going to be on the phone with pick 4 trying to get up. And spoiler alert, there are teams on the phone trying to move up to pick 5 with the Chargers. But Marvin Harrison Jr. is a do-it-all wide receiver. Honestly, him and Malik Neighbors are both unbelievably talented prospects, so I don't have a problem with either of them here. I just like Marvin Harrison Jr. as a do-it-all wide receiver. I think he's the guy. He's a better prospect than Justin Jefferson was, a better prospect than Jamar Chase was. This is the home run pick for your offense right here. Love Marvin Harrison Jr. here. So yeah, pick 5. It says it's the Chargers. It is not going to be the Chargers. I've got the Minnesota Vikings moving up. This is why they got a second first-round pick, because they know 2 first-round picks in this draft beats a first-round pick in this year's draft and a first-round pick in next year's draft. So I've got the LA Chargers trading down with the Minnesota Vikings at pick 5 and picking up those 2 first-round picks, getting pick 11 and pick 23, and going from there. And I've got Minnesota staying right here, and I've got them taking the 4th quarterback off the board. They don't have a quarterback, guys. You have to go quarterback here. Again, not the Chargers, the Vikings. Vikings are going QB at pick 5. It's J.J. McCarthy. Chargers pick up at least 2 first-round picks. For this mock draft, since I'm just doing the first round, I'm not going to go into what else it may take. It's going to be more expensive than just these 2 first-round picks. We're talking maybe a 1 next year as well. Maybe a 2. Maybe 2 2s. I don't know. It's going to be pricey. Price to get a quarterback is expensive. J.J. McCarthy, pick 5 to Minnesota to learn that Kevin O'Connell offense. Kevin O'Connell offense. I had to think about it for a second. Yeah, and go from there. So I like McCarthy. I don't think he's the top 5 pick. I don't think he's worth pick number 5, but I think teams are desperate for a QB. So McCarthy goes at 5, leaving pick 6 to the New York Giants, taking the best receiver on the board, Malik Neighbors. They probably would have taken J.J. McCarthy at 6 if he made it there, but Minnesota jumps them. Smart. And a consolation prize of Malik Neighbors is fantastic. What a stud he is, man. His tape is unbelievable. And he could have put up insane numbers if he was the true number 1 on his team, but Brian Thomas Jr. was so good too. Now imagine Malik Neighbors as a true number 1 receiver in New York. No one's going to challenge him for that title. He's going to go off for the Giants. He's going to be an absolute monster. Great pick here. Pick 7, this one's chalk. I can't spice this one up at all. It's Joe Alt. Titans had the worst left tackle play in the NFL last year. Joe Alt is one of the best left tackle prospects to come out in a long time. I will give you guys a full prospect breakdown when we are live for the draft. I've got the offensive lineman. Joe Alt is unbelievable. His tape is unbeatable. He's very good left tackle. He will be in consideration for All-Pro in the next 2 seasons. You can go ahead and book that. He's going to be amazing. Pick 8, Atlanta. Again, I'm going chalk here. I really didn't want to, and I'm going to because I have it all typed out here, and I'm not going to deviate. I'm going with Dallas Turner. They desperately need an edge rusher. I like his fit in that defense. I just don't think he's that good. I think he's too small. I'm concerned about his size. His athletic profile is off the charts. If they can make it work, fantastic. He's not going to bully anybody. He's going to beat you with speed. He reminds me of Nolan Smith from Georgia last year. Just a super athlete. Just a little on the smaller side. So if he can bulk up a little bit, put on 10, 15 pounds of muscle in an NFL weight room, he could be a real problem as long as he doesn't lose the athleticism with that. But I like Dallas Turner. I don't like him as a top 10 pick. He's probably my edge 2 in this class. I like Latu personally. He's my favorite edge. But Dallas Turner is more projectable, better athlete. So I'll go Dallas Turner. I just don't think you're getting double-digit sacks from him. I don't see that with him. But the athleticism is there, and Atlanta desperately needs it. So we'll go ahead and give them Dallas Turner. Pick 9, Chicago on the board. Absolutely ecstatic. Probably getting some calls about some trades here. I'm sticking and picking. You're not going to trade down and get anybody like Rome Odunze. Absolute stud out of Washington, 6'3", just testing off of the charts. He is fantastic, prototypical size. That gives the Bears 3 very good wide receivers for Caleb Williams now. And they're going into the season with some weapons. DeAndre Swift now at running back. Keenan Allen, DJ Moore, Rome Odunze. A offensive line that they are building now. Could be scary. I like Rome Odunze there at pick 9 in Chicago a lot. Pick 10, Jets. I know they just signed some offensive linemen. You've got 2 33-year-old offensive linemen, and you're the Jets. You think they're going to hold up? No. I think you stay here and you take my second best tackle in the class, Olu Fashanu. Best pure pass blocker in the class. Has improved in the run game. That's the big knock on him. His run game is so bad. It's better. It's better than you think. It's improved. And he can sit for a year. Sit for a year behind Tyron Smith. Or, if they need him to play guard, put him at guard and then kick him out when Smith gets injured, inevitably. Or when he retires at the end of the year, probably, or leaves. You got to plan for the future here. And the Jets, in their bad luck when it comes to injuries, they need to make a move and have some talent coming up the pipeline. And that's Olu Fashanu. Fashanu is how it's pronounced, apparently. Pick 11. It's not Minnesota. This is the Chargers on the clock here. And I think they need offensive line help still. And I really like the versatility of Troy Fautanu. Probably the earliest you'll see him mocked. Pick 11 to the Chargers. I really think that he goes earlier than we all expect. His athleticism is unbelievable, and he can play 4, maybe even all 5 of the offensive line positions. You cannot teach that kind of versatility. Very, very good offensive lineman. Longer arms than expected. 34-inch arms. Much longer than I expected. Honestly, I was concerned about the arm length. He took care of that issue right away. So good on Troy. I think he's going to be excellent at whatever position they put him at, and they need help all over the offensive line. So I like Troy Fautanu to the Chargers, not the Vikings. Stay with me. Pick 12, we've got the Denver Broncos on the clock here. I got a shocker. Guys, Sean Payton needs a quarterback. He needs a quarterback. And Michael Penix Jr. just went crazy at his pro day today, March 28th. This is when I'm doing this. He threw a ball. His last pass today was a 75 air yard completion just to show off the arm. And then he ran in the 4.6s. He's more athletic than you think. He was healthy all season last year. Last 2 seasons, look at the numbers. He's thrown for 9,400 yards and 67 passing touchdowns. He's doing everything you want. There's no way Sean Payton's going to go into this season with the quarterbacks that he has now. He needs something, and I think he's going to go Michael Penix Jr. How long does he have? You got to have something. Penix Jr. will step in and start right away. You'll need to get him some weapons at some point. But I like Penix. Man. If McCarthy's off the board, which there's no way he falls all the way to 12, because Minnesota will stay at 11 and take him if they don't trade up and take him. So I think Michael Penix Jr. gives us our 5th quarterback off the board at pick number 12, which really leaves the Vegas Raiders in a tough spot. People are going to be screaming for Bo Nix. No. Absolutely not. Look at their cornerback room. Their cornerback room is absolutely abysmal. It is embarrassingly bad. You need a corner. You signed Gardner Minshew. He's a good bridge QB. So I'm not saying you don't get a quarterback later in the draft. Spoiler alert. A little foreshadowing there for you. But I really like Terrion Arnold here. Terrion Arnold feels a lot like a Las Vegas Raider to me. He's a very good man corner. He plays a physical brand of football that I think they will like, and I think they go with Terrion Arnold out of the big school as opposed to Quinion Mitchell out of the smaller school in Toledo. So that's what I'm going to roll with here. Next up, we've got the New Orleans Saints on the clock. I'm going to give them an edge rusher. People probably want offensive linemen. I bet Saints fans are so pissed right now that I'm not taking Talisa Fuanga. They need an edge rusher, man. They need a lot. Let's call it what it is. Their defensive line is getting old. Cam Jordan's getting old. They need somebody to get after the quarterback. Jared Verse falling to them at 14. He fits their size profile. He's a bigger edge. He's listed here 6'4", 260, super athletic. I'm a huge fan of Jared Verse. He's probably higher on my board than Dallas Turner is. Honestly, I think I have Dallas Turner at 3. Absolute stud. 11 sacks last year, 36 hurries. Just gets in the backfield. Super talented. Saints got to build the trenches. Yeah, they need a tackle bad, and you could go tackle here, and I wouldn't argue it. I just like Jared Verse in this spot. Really good value, probably edge 2 or even edge 1 for some people. Colts on the clock here at pick 15. I got a fun one for us. It's Brock Bowers. I don't know how far he'll fall, but they need a weapon. I thought about Brian Thomas Jr. here, but since they re-signed Michael Pittman, I'm going to stay away for now because they've got Pittman, they've got Pierce. They need a good tight end. What's a quarterback's best friend? A good tight end. So I'm going Bowers, one of the best tight end prospects we've seen in a very, very long time. Do it all. You can line him up in the slot. You can play wide receiver. He can do it. He can do everything. Colts fans will love this guy. You will absolutely love Brock Bowers with Anthony Richardson. He will just bring a whole nother element to the game. Big fan here. Next up, we've got the Seattle Seahawks. I've got them taking Byron Murphy II, defensive lineman out of Texas. They need a little bit of everything. They need a lot of help on the defense. Byron Murphy can do it all for them, and he can play that Justin Madubuike role in Mike McDonald's defense. That's why I went with this pick. He reminds me of Justin Madubuike, and Seahawks need something like that. There's other positions they could go. Sure, they need, guard. They don't have Troy Fautanu's not there. They don't need a tackle, so you're not going to go with Talisa Fuanga here. Linebacker, no. Safety, no. Center, maybe Jackson Powers Johnson. But I'm going to go with the overall super talented Byron Murphy II and give him here at pick 16 to Seattle. Pick 17, Jacksonville. You guys need a corner more than anything, and that's Quinion Mitchell. They're going to take Quinion Mitchell at pick 17. Unbelievable ball skills. People concerned about the small school can just forget about that because he was awesome at the Senior Bowl. He has just flown up boards. He's looked awesome in his athletic testing. Good size, great coverage metrics per PFF. Super talented. He's going to be awesome. Like that pick for Jacksonville, who desperately needs it. Next on the clock, Cincinnati. You lost Jonah Williams. Let's replace him with someone better. Talisa Fuanga, pick 18. To the Cincinnati Bengals. That is a great pick for them. That is a steal for them. He's a mauler in the run game. Absolute mauler. Probably the best pure run blocking tackle in the class, in my opinion. Love Talisa Fuanga. And they need it. They need a tackle bad. He brings some nasty to an offensive line. So, 18 to the Bengals. Pick 19. This is unfair, and I'm not going to do this. People are going to compare Johnny Newton to Aaron Donald. He's not Aaron Donald, but he can fill that role. Maybe not as well, but he can definitely fill that role. Very talented guy. Little undersized for the position. Only listed at 6'1.5", 300 pounds. Listed here at 6'2", 295. Very good pass rusher from the interior and also stops the run. Like, he's just excellent. Brings something really strong to that defensive line of the Rams. Starts rebuilding that defense up to something great. I like that pick for them a lot. He is very good. Pick 20 will not be the Pittsburgh Steelers. I see them trading down with a team that traded down once already. I've got the Chargers jumping up here in front of Miami. And tell me who the Chargers wide receivers are. Oh, yeah, Quentin Johnston. And who's the other one? I can't even think of who the other one is. It's their deep ball guy. Either way, it just does. Oh, Josh Palmer. Ha. Doesn't matter. Brian Thomas Jr. is going at pick 20 here. Maybe the Steelers are pissed that they did it because maybe they thought Brian Thomas Jr. was going to fall. They might not have known who the Chargers were moving up to take. Brian Thomas Jr., 17 touchdowns last year. Unbelievable speed. 4.33 at 6'4", 200-plus pounds. Unbelievable. He has long arms. This guy is awesome. They call his arms like go-go gadget arms. He's only 21 years old. He can go up and get it. He can outrun you. You give Justin Herbert a weapon like that, a Quentin Johnston on steroids, if you will. Awesome pick here for the Chargers, not the Steelers. Remember, stay with me there. Next up on the clock, it is your Miami Dolphins. And people might think, oh, man, he should have had a few teams take him already. I think he falls. I think he falls to the Miami. I don't even know if Miami takes him, honestly. I could see Miami going with Latu. I could see Miami maybe going J.C. Latham, Amarius Mims to start grooming at tackle. But I think Jackson Powers-Johnson has top 5 center in the NFL potential. I really do. Nasty in the run game. Just awesome. He's just awesome at what he does. Huge fan of him. Best center in the class by far. Miami's done this once a while ago when they took Mike Pouncey, and he was the starter for several years. Connor Williams remains unsigned. Tore his ACL at the end of the season. Really badly messed up his knee. Right now, our starting center is Aaron Brewer. You can play Jackson Powers-Johnson at guard. You can play Aaron Brewer at guard. You can't just say, oh, we've got somebody. Like, everybody has somebody. Aaron Brewer does not stop you from drafting a stud center in Jackson Powers-Johnson. That's why I've got Miami taking it pick 21 here. Philadelphia, pick 22. Desperately need a corner. I will not hear anything else. I had people arguing with me early on in this mock draft, like early in the season of it, saying, oh, they don't need corner. They don't need corner. Who were you watching last year? They desperately need corners. And Cooper DeJean is a do-it-all cornerback. Very, very athletic. Great size. He might be the most talented corner in the class. 6'1", 207 listed. He checks every single box. Fantastic athlete. Can play safety if you want to move him. I wouldn't. I think he can play corner. Truthfully, I think he can be a very good corner. So I'm going to stick with that. Pick 23 is Pittsburgh. And I've got Pittsburgh going with offensive lineman Graham Barton, with plans to play him everywhere. Honest to God. At his pro day at Duke today, he was snapping the ball. The snaps looked really clean. He's awesome. Graham Barton is going to be a sneaky good offensive lineman pick. Whoever takes him. I'm sure Tampa Bay fans are pissed he's not falling to them. I'm sure Dallas is upset that he just went before they could take him. He's going to be great. And I love the versatility. He is a true can play all 5 positions on the offensive line kind of guy. And as Pittsburgh needs it, they could play him anywhere outside of, he won't take Broderick Jones' spot at right tackle, but he could play left tackle, guard, center, guard, wherever you need him. Guy's awesome. Great pick for Pittsburgh here at pick 23 after trading down and getting somebody with probably him and Fatanu are probably the most versatile offensive linemen in the entire class, truthfully. Pick 24, Dallas on the clock here. I've got them taking right tackle J.C. Latham, but not necessarily play right tackle. Terrence Steele's kind of locked in at that position. J.C. Latham is massive. Huge dude, 340 pounds. But very athletic. He can play anywhere on your offensive line. You want Tyler Smith to play left guard, continue to play left guard? Great. J.C. Latham, left tackle. He can do it. You want Tyler Smith to play left tackle, which he was when you drafted him? Great. J.C. Latham can play left guard for you. He doesn't have to start on the right side where you've got Terrence Steele and Zach Martin. He can play interior and then kick out to tackle if an injury were to occur. So I like J.C. Latham here. Now, maybe they want a center. Maybe they're bummed out that Powers Johnson and Barton both went before them. But J.C. Latham is a fantastic consolation price who could go 10 picks before this. And he just happens to fall to pick 24 right into Dallas's lap. Pick 25, Green Bay. This one I kind of struggled with for a while. Ultimately, I end up settling on Nate Wiggins. Light. Very, very thin. But he is very good too. 6'2", about 170 pounds realistically. You guys need corner. They desperately need corner. I'm not taking Tyler Nubin in the first round. You're welcome. You could maybe look at tackle, but Amarius Mims is more of a project tackle. He's played limited college football, limited football in general. He needs time. He cannot start day one. Tyler Guyton cannot start day one. So then you're looking at reaching for someone like a Jordan Morgan or a Kingsley Suamatia. Also cannot start day one. So I think Nate Wiggins comes in and starts day one. I wish he was heavier. I wish he gained a little weight. Maybe he will in an NFL training setup. But I'm going to do it. I'm going to give him Nate Wiggins at pick 25. Green Bay Packers fans, sound off down below. Let me know why you hate that pick, why he doesn't fit the mold of a Green Bay Packer. I'd love to hear it. I like the Packers, by the way. No shade at all. Tampa Bay Buccaneers. This guy feels like a Buccaneer. Buccaneers fans probably hate it. I like the fit. Chop Robinson. Maybe a little early here according to PFF's board. What an athlete. An unbelievable athlete. He is just a younger, more athletic Shaquille Barrett, who you just lost. Steps right in day one, and there you go. You've got your athletic edge rusher that Todd Bowles can mold. I like that pick a lot. They have a ton of needs, obviously. You could argue Latu here, but Chop Robinson gives you that higher upside than Latu, whereas Latu is the most polished pass rusher in the class, the best pass rusher in the class, in my opinion. And he goes next pick to Arizona, who need defensive linemen to get home and get pressured. They don't have it. And Latu will come in day one and get pressure for them. Latu's handwork is so good. He is so technically gifted. Your concerns are the medicals, right? But he's played the last 2 seasons. UCLA cleared him medically to transfer, to play for them. He's passing all the tests. I know what happened to him in the past sucks, and he had to medically retire from football, whatever happened at Washington. He's back. He's great. And Arizona with a fantastic haul, getting Marvin Harrison Jr., the best receiver, and Latu at 27, maybe the best edge rusher in the entire class. Pick 28, Buffalo. I just don't see any way they leave this draft without a wide receiver. Adonai Mitchell looks awesome, tested fantastic, good size, 6'4", about 200 pounds. He'll just fill the Gabe Davis role that is vacated, and he'll do it way cheaper than Gabe Davis was doing it at. And he's young, very, very good. I like Adonai Mitchell a lot. And I know that Bills fans probably hope Brian Thomas Jr. falls. That won't happen. He's just too athletic. Adonai Mitchell's a fantastic consolation prize. So don't be too upset. Detroit on the clock. This guy feels like a Detroit Lion, and they need interior offensive lineman. Zach Frazier. What a mauler in the run game. My God, you know he used to be a wrestler just from watching how he plays. 4-time state wrestling champion in high school. He is so aggressive. And Zach Frazier, tell me that name doesn't sound like a Detroit Lion. If you tell me it doesn't, you're lying to yourself. Zach Frazier, Frank Ragnow. Come on. Ragnow may be getting close to the end of his time in football. Zach Frazier steps right in and takes over. He can play guard for you. Frazier's awesome. Very, very talented. And just feels like he's gritty. And he just fits Detroit. He just feels like a Detroit offensive lineman to me. That's just me. Pick 30 is not the Baltimore Ravens. Baltimore trades out of this pick. And I said it earlier, a little spoiler alert here. Las Vegas Raiders on the clock. They move whatever draft capital they have to. I'm not getting into it. It just doesn't matter. They're moving up, and they're going to take quarterback Bo Nix. And we have 6 quarterbacks in the first round. Now, will I feel silly when only 4 go and Penix and Nix are out of the first round? I don't know. Maybe. But that 5th-year option is important. And then they can get Nix, who is a bit of an older prospect. He's, 24 years old. 5 years on his rookie contract with that 5th year guaranteed. He'll be 29 by the time he can test free agency. And so you get him through his prime by taking him right now and just going with it. And the Raiders do not have a quarterback worth a darn on roster. So I like them to make the move for Bo Nix, move up, take their quarterback. Again, this is the Raiders, not the Ravens. Ravens do not need Bo Nix. I think Lamar Jackson is younger than Bo Nix. Not seriously, but probably close. Probably close. Next up, we've got the San Francisco 49ers. They're going to take the developmental offensive tackle Amarius Mims. Just too talented to still be on the board here, honestly. It's just a problem that he probably can't start day one. He just doesn't have enough football. He's unbelievably athletic for his size. Like, he carries 340 pounds better than any human being has ever carried 340 pounds. Not polished, but like they said here, unbelievable potential. They say out of the top 50, he won't make it out of the first round. There's just no way Mims is on the board after the first round. Huge fan of his potential, and give him a chance. Like, you just hook him up to Trent Williams somehow. Have them joined at the hip and just say, listen, kid, you just follow Trent Williams around every day. You sleep over at his house. You guys eat breakfast, lunch, dinner together. You do everything together. You can be as good as Trent Williams if you lock it in and if you learn from him. Amarius Mims has top 5 offensive tackle in the NFL potential. With his size and athleticism, if he just learns the more technical side of the position, he could be a serious problem. And of course, the 49ers, in 5 years, we're going to look back and be like, how the hell did Amarius Mims go at pick 31? And that's just the 49ers' luck, just like how the Chiefs get that kind of luck too. Speaking of the Chiefs, on the clock at pick 32. A lot of good talent here. They could use an offensive lineman like Tyler Guyton. They need a wide receiver, though, and I'm sticking with a wide receiver. I'm not going Ladd McConkey. He reminds me too much of what Rashee Rice brings to the game. You can't have 2 of them. What do they need? I feel like people are going to hate it, and I just don't care if you hate it because I love it. Wow, I'm really having to scroll for him. Xavier Worthy, man. Xavier Worthy won't last long because you can't teach that speed. You cannot teach 4.21 speed. That is something that you just are blessed with, and he is absolutely blessed with it. And, man, imagine an offense where you have 2 guys like Hollywood Brown and Xavier Worthy stretching the defense, Rashee Rice running the intermediate routes, and then Travis Kelce in there too. Good luck. Good luck. Troy Franklin falls out of my first-round picks because of his disappointing athleticism at the combine. Not that he's not an athlete, but he just tested poorly. I didn't love it. And then guys like Ladd McConkey, I think you have someone like that in Rashee Rice already. I'm not that high on Roman Wilson or Devontae Walker. I like Xavier Worthy more than them. Xavier Worthy is a rare athlete who, if you don't take him now, you're probably going to regret it. 32 is a good spot to take a risk on something like this. And the wide receiver, like, you think, oh, who's going to be the best receiver in this class? Go and just give me the receiver that is with Patrick Mahomes thinks. He has the best chance. So that's my mock draft post-free agency. There will be more of these coming. Don't you worry. And don't forget, draft night in a little bit less than a month now. We will be live for the entire first round right here on YouTube. We all have position groups. We are doing deep dives into the film breakdown. We are looking at these guys' strengths, their weaknesses, all of their measurables. We have all of our positions ranked. For example, I have the offensive lineman. I've got 13 potential first-round offensive linemen that I have done deep film studies on, and I can tell you all their traits, what they're good at, what they're bad at, and perfect fits for them with the team. You will not want to miss that live stream. We're going to be doing giveaways. It's going to be a ton of fun. We absolutely cannot wait. But thank you guys for stopping in and watching this mock draft, and we will see you all in the next one.